I don't know what you've been told, but time is coming on, no need to take it slow. Let's rank him up and knock him down. That's not fucking Maverick, that's Masters of the Air. So it's been reported that Top Gun 3 is currently in development, and that Tom Cruise is set to return as Maverick, and producer Miles Teller and Glenn Powell will return, and also director Joseph Kosinski will either return to produce or helm the project as director. And on the one hand, yeah, I'm down for more Top Gun. Top Gun Maverick was great. I love Top Gun Maverick.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drops a man insane.
The year it came out, 2022, it was my favorite. I think I said it was my favorite. Looking back at it, I think Elvis was my favorite of 2022. But realistically, you know, Top Gun Maverick was a great film and I loved it. But if you look at, like, me, my channel, you'll know that Elvis was probably my favorite film of that year.
Shit.
Shut the fuck up. What's it Darren said, by the way?
Hello. Showing up with the trim that Hamza gave me. It's pretty good. I'm moving my head like a weirdo.
He's moving mad.
Not bad.
That's right. Should I wear the sunglasses so that make me look an asshole?
Oh, wear it.
Alright, cool.
What's your rolling us?
Fuck you. But honestly though, I loved Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was my favorite film of the summer. It was the summer movie of the year it came out. It's so much fun to watch and rewatch. Whenever I go on holiday now, that is like the film I put on when I go and sit on the plane. Like, it's a perfect like plane film too. Like, I mean, it literally has planes in it, but like, it's just such a vibe. It's such a feel-good film too, and seeing Tom Cruise doing all of his stuff in the plane and training all the other students stuff in the plane and everything about it, the way it's shot, the music, Hans Zimmer's score for that film is incredible. Like, I genuinely get like chills, or like I get this feeling inside. You know the moment when Tom Cruise is riding the motorcycle and is playing the Top Gun theme, like down, now, 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 now. Incredible. It's so good. And then there's the scene in the third act where Maverick tells Rooster, "Thank you for saving my life," and then they hug and stuff. It's so good. Top Gun Maverick is genuinely an incredible blockbuster, and I wish they made more of them. But with all that being said, on the other hand, do we really need Top Gun 3? Like, Tom Cruise even stated that when they made Top Gun Maverick, in many ways, the thought process behind it was that this is Maverick's last hurrah. We don't need any more Top Gun films. This is Maverick's final goodbye. I mean, he literally flew off into the sunset at the end of the film. You know, he's got a love interest and a surrogate daughter and stuff, and obviously Miles Teller and him, and Rooster and Maverick are like on great terms again. Do we really need a Top Gun 3? And if we do get Top Gun 3, is there really a point to having Tom Cruise star as Maverick again? Like, Maverick's story's done. Unless Top Gun 3 is supposed to be a passing of the torch and then we can get Miles Teller and Glenn Powell as, like, the central figures, do we really need it? Because one of the things that Top Gun Maverick excels at is the callbacks to the first Top Gun without it feeling like it being the same film. But when you look at the original Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, a lot of the homages and stuff in many ways are just going, hey, do you remember Top Gun? Yeah, it's pretty great, right? And do not take that as me slandering Top Gun Maverick. I think in many ways it's the perfect way to do nostalgic callbacks. I mean, you look at other films that try and do it and they're horrible and they're cringy, but Top Gun Maverick does it in such a tasteful manner that you kind of just love it. Like the fact that the film opens with the Danger Zone montage, it's great. We recreate many of the iconic shots from the first Top Gun. It's great. We have a volleyball, even though it's football and Maverick-esque scene. It's great. But I also do feel like a lot of the reasons why it worked is because it's been so long since the first Top Gun to Top Gun Maverick that those callbacks work, but they're tastefully done, but also they work because it's like, hey, remember Top Gun? Yeah, now it's Top Gun but updated. And I feel like if Top Gun 3 tries to do a similar thing, it might just feel a bit forced. But also, what more story is there to tell? You watch Top Gun Maverick, and granted, it's great. It's a very simple story, perfectly executed. But the story itself is nothing new. I mean, you look at the third act, it's basically just the Star Wars Death Star trench run. Like, there's nothing great or unique about Top Gun Maverick. It's just done really well. But another thing I want to point out is, how long can Tom Cruise do this for? I mean, he's like 60 years old and he's showing his age, but not very much. He looks like a strong 45. But Tom Cruise is 60 years old. How long can he do this for? I don't think he can go up in the fighter jets and do all the crazy G-force stuff they did in Top Gun Maverick. Like, I don't know if he can do that for another film. And I say this as a fan of Tom Cruise, the movie star. I think he's great. I love what he does. The fact that he actually spent time to train the cast and actually have them sit in the fighter plane so that a lot of their reactions were genuine is fantastic. That's what more films need. Like, I've said this before about blockbusters. If you're going to spend like $200 million on a film, I want to see every penny of that on the screen. And with Top Gun Maverick, you do. But I'm genuinely curious about the take they would do for a Top Gun 3. Like, what is it? Is this going to be the film where Maverick dies? Because I don't want to see that. Like, genuinely, Genuinely, I'm getting sick and tired of seeing legacy characters die on screen for the sake of it. Like, for example, this didn't happen in Indiana Jones, but seeing, like, old man Indiana Jones, it was kind of lame. Like, he had the happy ending in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But when you get to the end of Indiana Jones 5, nothing really changed. Like, there was kind of no point to Indy 5. You look at the Star Wars sequel trilogy and how they killed off Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia, and it's, like, really underwhelming. Like, no one cared. And in all honesty, I don't want to see Maverick die on screen. What's the point? Top Gun is supposed to be very feel-good, supposed to be really fun. So having Maverick die on screen would just be really lame, and just no one wants to see that. Also, I don't even think Tom Cruise himself would allow himself to die on screen like that. Also, who are they going to be fighting this time? Because in Maverick, they were just fighting their enemy. Were they Russians? Were they, I don't know, like, Ukrainian? I've got no clue. I don't know who they were fighting. Were they fighting, like, you know, terrorists? And I don't know if you can get away with doing that again. Like, do not get me wrong. I think there's story to tell with Rooster and with Hangman and with Phoenix. I hope they bring back Phoenix because, she was special, wasn't she, Darren? Oh, Monica Barbara.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
But also, in Top Gun Maverick, there were other students in Top Gun. We just didn't really get to see them. Like, we saw them, you know, occasionally during the montage and stuff, but could have explored them a little bit more. And yeah, it would be nice to see the dynamic between Rooster and Hangman and how they've changed and evolved and whether or not they get along or they don't get along. Did they respect each other? Because they do. They had like a mutual respect and understanding at the end of Maverick. And that dynamic was really fun, especially when he saves them and Hangman's all like, yeah, your savior has a right. It's really good, but I don't know. That's kind of the whole vibe I'm getting with Top Gun 3, is that on the one hand, it could be very good. And on the other hand, I don't know where you go with it. Like, if you were to just sit down and go, Hamza, Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie and Joseph Kosinski, they're on the phone, they want you to pitch Top Gun 3, I'd be like, I don't know what you do. But then again, so long as Joseph Kosinski and Christopher McQuarrie are involved, I don't really have to worry too much about Top Gun 3. That's also if the film actually gets made, because, I mean, the only reason why this film is supposedly being in development is because Top Gun Maverick made $1 billion. But if Joseph Kosinski and especially Christopher McQuarrie are involved, then I won't worry too much, because one of the reasons as to why I think Top Gun Maverick works so well is because Christopher McQuarrie is involved in it. He co-wrote the script, and so if he's co-writing the script again, I won't worry too much, because everything that Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie touch is pretty great. Like, did I love Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1? Or technically it's just Dead Reckoning now, but did I love it? I wouldn't say I loved it. I really liked it though. I do think it was a massive step down from Fallout, and I think I preferred Rogue Nation. But it wasn't a bad film. It was good. It was enjoyable. I liked it. But because it was a Part 1, it did fall into the trap of it being a Part 1. It felt like a Part 1. But the overall filmmaking and talent on display in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning was great. And so if McQuarrie is teaming up with Tom Cruise and Kosinski to be involved in Top Gun 3, that's all great. Honestly, I think Top Gun 3 would be a good idea because they probably have an idea. And I think this also might be a case where Tom Cruise was just like, no, we're not doing number 3. No, we're not doing number 3. No, we're not doing number 3. And then either two things happened. Either he saw the reception to Mission Impossible 7 was like, oh, damn, let's go back to Top Gun. Or he was pitched something and really liked it and was like, yeah, we've got an idea here. Let's make Top Gun 3. Because that's the thing about Tom Cruise, is that he's very particular about the roles he takes and the films he produces and the films he's pitched. There are the rare exceptions like The Mummy, but overall, Tom Cruise, for the most part, really likes to pick projects with quality. But overall, to wrap things up, I don't think the idea of Top Gun 3 is terrible, but at the same time, I don't know how you do Top Gun 3. I'm not entirely against it, but I do feel like with Top Gun 3, there are certain things that you, as a fan, as an audience member, would be expecting to see in a Top Gun film. Like, for example, we'd get the opening with Danger Zone again, and then we'd have shots of Maverick riding his motorcycle, and we see the sun and the plane in the background, and it's like, yeah, there'd probably be another sport beach scene, whether it be volleyball or football or whatever. There probably would be another one of those. But the thing is that I feel like you'd see this stuff on screen and go, yeah, we've done this. We've been there and done that. Like, could you imagine in Top Gun 3, they're in the bar and they sing Great Balls of Fire again? Like, in many ways, it would just feel played out. It's like, yeah, we know, this is Top Gun. Like, yeah, we get it. But on the other hand, the fact that Top Gun 3 is in development, despite Tom Cruise saying that Maverick was Maverick's, last hurrah, the whole thing of Top Gun Maverick is basically a metaphor for Tom Cruise anyway. The fact that the whole film is about the old age of fighter pilots is dying out and the new age is coming in, but the relic of the past is still there. Tom Cruise Maverick is still there. That's what Top Gun Maverick was about, so how do you make a sequel to that? Unless it is Maverick just passing on his knowledge to the new generation, which in many ways Tom Cruise is doing. Like, there was an interview with with Timothy Chalamet where he talks about how Tom Cruise was giving him advice about how you need to learn how to do all this stuff yourself. You have to do your own learning, your own training. In many ways, Tom Cruise is trying to groom the new generation of action heroes and action stars. And if he was to apply that into the story to Top Gun 3, that could be interesting to say the least. But those are just my thoughts on the potential of there being a Top Gun 3. So far, I'm mixed, and I'm very curious to see what would happen. Because again, Tom Cruise, for the most part, doesn't pick bad projects and he doesn't revisit things unless he really wants to. But then also, he's still doing Mission Impossible stuff and he still has other projects in development like the Les Grossman stuff. And it's also just been announced that he's teaming up with Warner Brothers to produce and star in a bunch of films for them. So, I don't know. Will this film even be made? Who knows? But those are just my thoughts. What do you guys think on a potential Top Gun 3? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, follow the social media, all that good stuff. Until we meet again, see you guys next time.